Every young gamer wants to become an esports professional. We make it happen. You just keep on winning.
স্বাগতম বাংলাদেশের জন্য ESPL Valorant PowerUp Series ফরম্যাটে আপনাকে জানাই স্বাগতম। এই সিরিজটি রায়ট গেমস দক্ষিণ এশিয়া সমর্থিত একটি উদ্যোগ যা বাংলাদেশের ভেতরে অপেশাদার গেমারদের প্রতিভা বজায় রাখতে এবং বৃদ্ধি করতে সহায়তা করবে। এর সুবিধার্থে PowerUp সিরিজটিতে প্রতি মাসে দুটি প্রাইজ পুল সহ দুটি টুর্নামেন্ট থাকবে। প্রতিটি মাস শুরু হবে একটি বাছাই পর্বের সাথে, যেখানে সবগুলি দল সিঙ্গল এলিমিনেশন ফরম্যাটে প্রতিযোগিতা করবে শীর্ষ 8টি দল পর্যন্ত এবং এই 8টি দল অ্যামেচার কাপে উত্তীর্ণ হবে। এই 8টি দল ডাবল এলিমিনেশনে লড়াই করবে এবং বিজয়ী শীর্ষস্থানীয় 3টি দল আমন্ত্রিত হবে ইনভিটেশনাল কাপে। ইনভিটেশনাল কাপে প্রতিযোগিতা করবে শীর্ষস্থানীয় 3টি দল এবং আমন্ত্রিত 3টি দল। ইনভিটেশনাল কাপের সময় অপেশাদার কাপ এবং ইনভিটেশনাল কাপের শীর্ষ দুটি দল উচ্চ ব্র্যাকেটে খেলবে এবং তৃতীয় স্থানের দলগুলি একই পর্বের নিম্ন ব্র্যাকেটে খেলবে। প্রথম রাউন্ডের প্রতিটি ম্যাচ হবে সিঙ্গল এলিমিনেশন ফরম্যাটে। উচ্চ ব্র্যাকেটের দুটি বিজয়ী দল তারপর ডাবল এলিমিনেশন পর্যায়ে এগিয়ে যাবে। ডাবল এলিমিনেশন পর্বে হেরে যাওয়া দলটি তখন নিম্ন ব্র্যাকেটের দলের বিপক্ষে প্রতিদ্বন্দ্বিতা করবে। এই পর্যায়ে নিম্ন ব্র্যাকেটের যে দলটি হারবে তাদেরকে তৃতীয় স্থান হিসেবে শিরোনাম দেওয়া। ইনভিটেশনাল কাপে অংশ নেওয়া সমস্ত 6টি দল পরের মাসের অপেশাদার কাপে আবার প্রতিযোগিতা করে বেরিয়ে আসতে হবে, যার উদ্দেশ্য নতুন এবং উন্নত দলগুলিকে অপেশাদার কাপে প্রতিযোগিতার সুযোগ দেওয়া। এর দ্বারা ইনভিটেশনাল কাপে আরও অভিজ্ঞ দলের সাথে তাদের দক্ষতা পরীক্ষার চক্রটি পুনরাবৃত্তি করা হচ্ছে। আমরা অর্থাৎ ESPL কিভাবে বাংলাদেশের দলগুলি পাওয়ার আপ সিরিজে পারফর্ম করে তা দেখার অপেক্ষায় রয়েছি। আপনার স্কোয়াড প্রস্তুত করুন এবং সিরিজটি শুরু হওয়ার জন্য প্রস্তুত থাকুন। গুড লাক এজেন্টস।
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESPL Bangladesh, brought to you by Bongo. And our community partners are going to be none other than the Bangladesh community itself. So let's just talk about what we're going to be seeing here, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be the upper bracket finals, a match to remember as well. It is going to be GSC Headhunters versus Exceeli Esports themselves. And we have an exciting 3 maps for you today, if it of course goes to those 3 maps. So the first map itself is going to be split. So Kalashnikov, what do you think is going to be happening down on this matchup?
Well, actually, since it's a match between Exceeli Esports and GSC Headhunters, it should be something that we really expect every time from these big teams that are really coming off on the board. And last time we saw them fighting, it was quite impressive seeing them fight against the best, and best versus best. All of us always wait for this finals, semifinals, whenever we see them fighting together. So we might be having some really big fireworks today. And everyone, you should know that ESPL is a global esports network and a tournament platform provider with a goal of elevating players from casual gamers to esports champions. Starting 2021 with a bang, ESPL's hope is to grow Valorant esports talent across South Asia through the PowerUp series. As we all know, top 3 teams of the Amateur Cup will join the Invitational Cup to compete against some of the best teams in the country. For more information, visit espl.gg/Bangladesh for more tournaments like these and fun esports content. We are now currently live streaming on ESPL Bangladesh Facebook and YouTube, as well as BongoBD.com. Thank you so much, Aggressive. So let's talk about the map.
So the first initial map has been picked up by Exceeli, and here is the map of Split itself. So I'm really excited for Split because Exceeli as a team, they've showcased to us that when they have that breach in their arsenal, they can be a driving force to go up against pretty much any team. And this is primarily because of Shoespring being on that jet in particular, him having that explosive potential to push himself forward and then take aggressive control down with that jet through the help of the breach coming out as well, basically meaning that he has a lot of potential, a lot of potency to take control of the entire map if his team is able to give him that support. And I do believe that Hate Crew, he's going to be the one opting to go in for that breach. But at the same time, we could see some form of a change up because recently I have seen Zolo pick up that jet a lot more frequently in comparison to Shoestreak. So I do believe that Shoestreak, he could be going onto that raise while Zolo, he's going to be going on to the Jet.
So on the other hand, we're seeing GSC, Elias picking up Omen, Sasuke on Cypher, Savage on Sage, Mock with Reyna, Aesop as usual with a Jet. And as I know, as I've like seen before, Aesop is really good with Jet. His op shots really cover up his team, and his clutches are insane. So hoping to see him today in as a star player too. On the other side, we're seeing Zolo Crazy, which he doesn't normally plays is Jet. We're seeing Solo Crazy on Jet, but she usually plays Phoenix, if I'm not wrong, and Fancy Nine with a
Reyna.
Sage pickup. Yeah, Fancy Nine with a Rage pickup. Mizal with a what's that? Wait, can okay with a
Omen and
Killjoy,
Killjoy.
and I hate Crew with a Omen and Shoe Freaks with Rage. Okay, so what do you think? Like, is this gonna be some fireworks? Or it's gonna be one-sided. What do you
I do
expect?
believe, like, I personally do believe when it comes to the compositional basis, I am leaning more towards the side of Exceeli themselves because this is primarily because the lineup that they have, the Sage and the Killjoy, this basically allows for so much stall potential in comparison to the side of GSC. Headhunters, they all have a lot of rush bases. They are going to be played purely based on their raw aiming potential and how fast they can rush down into a side. But in the side of Exceeli, they're playing much more towards the utility. That basically means that they have the upper advantage when it comes to them slowly but surely systematically breaking down a lot of the sides and then taking their engagement slowly, cutting off any sort of an aggressive backup that could be coming on through from the side of the attackers. And this is going to be hurting them quite a lot because they're going to be able to control the pace of a lot of these fights. But at the same time, you do have to remember primarily that headhunters, they have that advantage of having that Cypher in their arsenal, basically cutting off any sort of a flank route that could be possible. And the Cypher can solo hold the site, but he needs a little bit of backup close by. So the Cypher should be opting to play more towards this A side, and they should be opting to play much more for the retakes instead. No, no, sorry. Don't get me wrong, they should not be opting to play for the retake, and they should be opting to fight more for the side. Because as soon as that Sage and Killjoy have a chance of setting themselves up in a side, the retake is just going to be close to impossible. And this is mainly because, once again, they have so much stall potential in comparison to the side of Headhunters.
Well, speaking of headhunters, last time when we saw headhunters and like Exceeli playing against each other, it was pretty much in the first few rounds. Headhunters are really good at the pistol. I have to say, headhunters sometimes like the player Aesop and Elias. These both players are really good at the pistol, especially when they're using Sheriff, of course. And I've seen them clutching against Exceeli most times with a Sheriff. So what I see is most of these what do you call it, the pistol rounds, when I see headhunters is really competing really good against Exili. But in the case of full buy rounds or the full rush rounds, we see headhunters not even like surviving for even a second. So sometimes seeing that one-sided strategies on the side of Exili being really aggressive is sometimes really nice to watch. And players like Mizzle, players like Zolo Crazy or Fancy, they're really aggressive on their approach and entry. Well, their entry fragging, their information, and all of their interpretation for the side push is pretty much solid compared to GSC headhunters. But what I expect this time, maybe GSC might find themselves in a good position right now. What do you think?
I personally do believe that as well, but at the same time, looking at Headhunter's composition, I'm not really happy about it. And like as I stated before, it's just not a composition that can really work out when you're trying to control the flow of an entire match. Yes, that composition can work out, but when you have that Reyna and not that Raze on the map of Split as well, where flashes are, yes, extremely powerful, but you should have the flash in the form of an initiator instead, or you should be opting for the Sage and the Killjoy. Then this is primarily because, once again, the Killjoy and Sage just control a lot of the sides and control the flow of a fight a lot more easier in comparison to the sides of, let's say, a Reina or a Jet or a Cypher trying to hold down a site on their own. They're playing on their raw aim and not based on their utility. And I do believe that if Exceeli are able to use their utility properly, they're going to be having a much more of an easier time in comparison to the side of Headhunters. And as you just stated before, if Exceeli opt to go in for a fast rush, there is nothing on the side of the defenders that they can do. Headhunters, they're at the mercy of the raw aiming potential of the side of Exceeli. That is why Valorant is a game where you do not have to think about utility and comfort all the time. You need to understand, against such top tier teams, you need to try and counter strat them as much as possible. Otherwise, you're not really going to have a lot of success when it comes to a lot of your own defensive rounds. But I do believe that Headhunters, they need to try and clutch out as many defensive rounds as possible, because their composition will get a little bit stronger on the side of the attack, but at the same time, against a Sage and a Killjoy, it's going to be a little bit of a question mark for me.
Well, having knowing to that, it's really comforting sometimes seeing a team like Exili always standing up, because their gunfight potential, their way of information provide and information, the way they just always think, it's pretty much solid all the time. And them being like really experienced in the game like this, in a tactical shooter they've been playing for a decade now, and having that amount of now, hey, you don't need. Okay.
Yes, continue.
Okay. So coming back. Okay, my bad. So coming back to that. So having that amount of potential, that amount of experience you gather against new competitive players who are really good, but basically the difference kind of thing, experience, synchronization between the teammates really makes them a really powerful composition against any kind of opponents. And them being the undefeated champions till this day has not even like decreased to amaze me. From day one they've been providing that amount of aggression, and I've never seen, like, in the history of Bangladesh, I've never seen such a team who's been really aggressive and solely depending on the raw aim potential, like getting inside the site, obliterating their teammates, getting the post plan situation under control, and that's it, win of the round. So that's really nice to watch.
I mean, that is true. Exili as a team, when it comes to their mechanical dominance, they're just a treat to watch. But at the same time, I do believe that as the scene is progressing more and more, a lot more teams are coming together and understanding what they can do to go up against such a driving force that is Exili. A lot of the teams, for example, Zoo Savers and even Headhunters, they do have the potential and they have the prodigies to make things work. But I do believe that it all comes down to the basis of utility. Not everything can be played around your aim. Exili, they understand this, because looking at their composition, they have a composition that is based upon utility. But now here's where the real fun is about to start, ladies and gentlemen. With this first initial matchup coming on through, it's going to be Savage going in for a peek onto the side of mid. Maybe biting off a bit more than he can chew, but with that wall going on down, that's going to create a little bit of pressure towards the side of the defenders, and they're going to be backing on off towards the side of A Heaven, as the push does come down from the side of mid and through the side of B main.
It's one kind of split you can see, and this kind of split, holding up and just waiting for your team enemies to just peek first and then take the frag, is really patience. And we're having to see both of the team having the patience. JC Savage, the first headshot on Zolo Crazy, getting the first frag off the board. We're seeing Sufrix on the bot coming off the board, and he also detected some of them. And this is the time they need to push, because they're just holding off the back angles. And what we're seeing, this is a big fake coming out on the side of the GSC. We're seeing Hate Crew just holding off the angle over here, trying to, just rotate on the go. And we're seeing Ace to get him, but he just panicked and just got some shots out, did some damage, but he just came back on the side. And we're seeing Track again coming back. It was a fake, but a fake again. And GSC Suzuki on the first back, Fancy on another one. Missile taking back the board. 2 versus 2 situation, and really doable for both of the teams. Hate Crew coming back, 2 freaks on the plan. And I think he's gonna get down. It's all up to Hate Crew to get back this round. Let's see what happens next. Can he get back the round? No! It's GSC getting the first round and a good start of the board with the pistol run. As I said before, really good at the pistol.
Now, on this 1-0, I do believe that when it came down to technicalities towards this round itself, Exceeli, they played it a little bit too slow. They were not as aggressive as I would have expected them to be. And Shoestring being on the side of B main and not towards the side of mid, it's a little bit of a big question. Primarily because you do have to remember, with Zolo being on that jet, he is a much more of a better fit to go down from the side of B main itself. Because with that dash, with those smokes, he can just dash on in, break the trap wires, instantly poke his head out, and then just get one kill or get traded by one of his teammates almost instantly. Because you do have to remember, with that smoke being only 4.5 seconds, yes, it was a nerf to jet, but in the long run, it was a little bit of a buff as well. Because your teammates can now get your refrags a lot more quicker in comparison to before. So let's say that jet peeks out of the smoke, it's not going to be as detrimental because the smoke is going to be running out way faster, allowing your teammates to go in for the reverse swing before the enemies can run on away after getting that kill, allowing for a lot more trade potential. In comparison, if you go towards the side of mid and try to fight for heaven with the jet, you don't really have a lot of utility to work with. Once again, you're solely relying on your gunfights, and that is not going to be working out in your favor. And already with the Seagull coming on through for the side of Exceeli, I'm really looking to see how they're taking a lot of these fights. It is going to be Ace of getting the first initial kill down on the Hate Crew, and with that smoke going on down already for the side of Exceeli, they're on the back foot, and he takes a dig to the head, but a reverse dig comes out from him with that classic. Does a little bit of damage on both sides. And already, the push is going to be coming through on every single one of the side lines, trying to see what they can find, but not much just yet. Mock, he does have the Leer off to throw it out, gets a first initial takeoff. It's going to be Aesop and Mock, the duo, coming on top in this engagement. One by one, the bodies are going to be piling on up. It's going to be a 5 versus 2 situation. Knights are going to be coming on through. Mock, he wants this knife, he wants this kill, but his teammates are not going to be giving it to him. Elias takes this kill away. Shoestring, he's going to be happy and probably thanking Elias as well. 2-0 on this scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen. And a smart showing from the side of GSC headhunters.
Well, seeing GSC like this, it's like first 2 rounds was pretty merrier. The more the merrier. And when we see this kind of frags coming out, just we're seeing Exceeli choking so at some angles, which we don't expect much of from them. Maybe they might just think of coming back sometimes. Maybe they're just observing. You never know what's gonna happen. But now we're seeing Exceeli. They got the whole arsenal on their ground, and we're seeing GSC Savage trying to pick up, and he knows that they are like all full and ready, fledged ready to just get them back on the board. And we're seeing a split on A and mid, and we're also seeing them pushing pretty aggressively, and I'm hoping that they might just make a difference out of this. And watching them just waiting on mid and A is really questioning what's their strategy this time is gonna be. Are they just really gonna hold up and just wait for the enemies to peak first, or they're just gonna push on a limited time basis? Maybe it's gonna be both or none of them. Let's see what happens. It's 1 minute of the clock. We're seeing them pushing mid together right now, and Shufrix on the board with a grenade out, and get some damage off the board, really less damage, but really doable. And Heaven control is still there by GSC. It's gonna be 2v2 on the Heaven. GSC Savage trying to get a peek. Now they know where they are, and there's gonna be one push of existence right now. And there we're seeing like really vigilant pushes coming up, and we're seeing Zolo Crazy taking the first frag of the board on Elias, and that's it. That's what happens. And Aesop gets the frag off the board, and it's like basically a 3v4 situation. Duo for both of the team. We're seeing Fancy 9 taking the frag once again. Can Fancy finish him off? No, he doesn't. And we're seeing once again fight coming back. SMG versus Rifles. Some kills done. Let's see if he can finish him off. Hey, dude, that's a double kill. 10 seconds off the board. Left. It's basically all up to Aesop to frag this out. He's with the Phantom. Doable. It's 1 versus 3. Aesop isn't aware that he might find someone off the board on mid. He's just going for a solo push on the board. And Mizzle! Mizzle! Oh my god, what's that timing? Oh my god, Mizzle! Mizzle, where you are? Mizzle, he needs you. Aesop is really there. And he knows that. And that's it. The round takes back off the board. And Exceeli, as I told you, with the arsenal, take back the round. And that's it. 2 by 1. 1 on the side of Exceeli, 2 on the side of GSC and HH.
That was a little bit of a questionable round in the long run because Exceeli, I personally like the strategy that they were trying to employ with True Streak being so aggressive onto the side of B Heaven, but I do believe they waited a little bit too long because you do have to consider something. Missile, when he is on that Killjoy, he does not need to play for that lurk. He can play as aggressive as he wants, and they can take aggressive side control using a lot of the utility that they do have. That is what the Nano Storm brings down to the table in comparison to that Cypher. But still, that was a really good headshot coming down from the side of Mog to take down Fancy, and without Fancy, they do not have the resurrection. They do not have the second life on one of their members. This was such a massive pick coming out from the Slow Orbs are going to be coming on through as well, but look at Zolo crazy. He's going crazy. He takes out Anais and also gets the 100 blades coming out on the side of Aesop as well. The bodies are going to be piling on up. Gets a lot of attention down towards this A side. And this is massive for Zolo because all of the members of his team can now slowly make a rotation down onto the side of B. And the execution is going to be coming on down soon as well. Because with only 55 seconds left on the clock, they need to be quick and they need to be decisive.
Speaking of quick and decisive, all we're seeing here on the board is calm before the storm. Everyone is calm. And that's it, they open up the calm, Storm goes off the board, and we're seeing a push against both of the teams. Rage goes for the push, can he get some frags off the board? And Take Crew, true! Oh my god! What was that?
30 seconds left.
He just
Spike planted.
He just pushed through the box there. He's out with the first time. No, Ace takes the frag. Hate Crew takes back the frag once again. Too much situation. Hate Crew, there's the second kill. Savage gets the frags off the board. 1v2 situation, Savage is reloading, changes up position, and gets taken out by Zolo Crazy, and that's once again on the side of Exceeli Esports.
Exceeli now, they have had a very dominant showing of skill when it comes to their own rifle rounds and their firearms, and this is primarily because of Zolo going on that lurk, but at the same time, having a jet up to go in for that lurk is a little bit questionable for me. But at the same time, it is a strategy coming out from the side of Exceeli, and it's really working out in their favor. And primarily, the main reason why I don't like this jet on this lurk is because of the potential that we could be seeing coming out from that jet instead for fast execution, heavy rushes. They're playing a lot more of the slower playstyle, and that is really working out in their favor. And this is super smart as well. With the much more slower playstyle, they're able to play a lot more systematically, play for picks, and then opt to go in for that rushes. And in that round in particular, it really worked out in their favor. With Zolo getting the first initial kill down on the side of A, it caused a lot of rotations to come on through, and that gave him the advantage. But look at this moment. It's gonna be Ace off with that Bucky, but Zolo, he's just so aggressive. Walks him straight past the smoke, gets one kill. Shoestring chimes and gets killed down on the Mog, but it's gonna be Savage instead, being able to take him out with that Bucky almost instantly. So much utility being used by Missile to make sure that Elias does not come even close with that Bucky. The plan is gonna be going on through soon enough. And now with the post-plan situation coming on down for the side of Exceeli, it is gonna be a 3 versus 4 situation on the map.
Well, watching this, I'm really concerned that sometimes, like, the pushes
Spike
Exceeli
planted.
provides, it's like different level, and it really like shaked, you know, the shivers out of their enemies, and that's all you need to do, you know, provide fares. And Hate Crew here gives up the position. Sounds like he's gonna get a shotgun kill. No, he doesn't. Hate Crew finishes them all. That's a nice try, but just
Whoa.
Hate Crew, what are you doing? Hello? Missile tries to distract. Missile! What the hell is going on here? Exceeli with that prediction. Reading the enemies like a book is... I know that's an expertise of Exceeli Esports, but this is insane. This is insane, totally. I mean, like, predicting your enemies on the heaven, just random shooting gets your enemies killed. That's totally insane. I have to say.
That was a little bit questionable from Elias though, because you know for a fact that one of the members are going to be holding down from the side of sewers, and you opt to go in for a TP with the Bucky. A little bit of a question mark, but at the same time, I do believe they just wanted to finish off their round as fast as possible. 2-3 on the scoreboard, and a good showing from the side of Exceeli. Once again, the slow push really working out in their favor, but at the same time, Aesop, he finally has the operator in his hand, so he should be able to stop the lurk coming out from the side of Zolo. But now, they need to be careful more than ever. None of the members of the side of Headhunter should be playing aggressive at all. How do you counter such a strategy coming out from the side of Exceeli? You just hold down your side and you hold down all of the angles that you were previously holding now with the better guns that you do have. Try and understand that, hey, Exceeli, they like to play it slow. So we should be playing it slow as well and try and see how far we can force Exceeli to stop themselves and then go in for a fast execution heavy rush somewhere on the other side of the map, and then it's all about the gunfights. If you are able to position yourself in a one-off angle, and if you're able to shut down 2 people, you're basically making the retake even better. And if you're able to take down that Sage and the Killjoy, it just works out in your favor. But now already with the pushes coming on through from the back end, it is gonna be Exceeli making that push down onto the top side. Alliance not being able to get that kill, but it's gonna be Aesop being able to shut down Missile. A very important
30
kill coming
seconds
out
left.
from Aesop, but in the long run, they did lose one of their members already, and side control has been established by the side of Exceeli with the plan going on down soon enough.
No charges left.
HQ coming
Spike
on the first
planted.
track off the board. Spikes goes off the board, and it's a situation, and that's it. That's a really sad mistake. He just couldn't get it. Anyways, we're having the fight here, and both of them
Last player
couldn't take the
standing.
frag. Fancy then finishes off the round. And will this Lucy some frag? Yes, we do, but that's it. Loses the operator, and that's it. Round goes in the favor of Exceeli. Going around with that rampage, never stopping, never holding up. And seeing this kind of great behavior, aggressive. I was just questioning you. I was questioning myself too.
Here.
What happened to Exceeli first 2 rounds? What were they trying to do? What were they trying to point out? Were they just observing their enemies, how they really play? Were they just observing their opponents, how they really made it their plan, or how they're really gonna execute? I just don't get this. I don't get this, this strategy Exceeli always plays. Loses first 2 rounds and then just comes back with a rifle like all hell breaks loose. So, what do you think?
Do believe that when it comes to the pistol rounds itself, you need to be a little bit more decisive when it comes to your strategy. You cannot always rely on your raw aiming potential, and that is why I do believe that Exceeli, when it comes to their rifle rounds, they're able to come out on top, because normally when you have those rifles, you always try and second guess yourselves, and that is what's happening towards the side of Headhunters. They're constantly second guessing themselves. They're not taking a lot of their engagements properly with a lot of confidence, and that is what's hurting them a lot. Elias in that position onto the side of A main, he should have just opted to stay down in that cubby corner, wait for Shoot Streak to fly above his head, and then get 2 kills as they were pushing on through. But instead he opted to go in for a swing, and this is what's constantly happening. The amount of confidence that the side of Headhunters have in comparison really goes to show in that one particular round, but in this case it's gonna be Aesop missing a couple of shots with those knives, really gonna be hurting him. Instead it's gonna be Zoe being able to shut him down already. This is an equal round, of course. You do have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, Elias, he needs to get this kill. This is gonna be crucial for him, but instead it's gonna be Monk being able to shut down 2. Monk with that stinger, he is gonna be the deciding factor. Monk with his third, Monk looking for some more, but he's not gonna be able to take him out. And now it's just Elias to try and see what he can find, but Elias not being able to find much value of his own with that Bucky. Monk tried his best with a triple kill, but Elias missing that first initial takeoff down onto Fancy basically means that they're not gonna have those guns and those fighting potential that they would have had if Elias was able to get that kill, pick up that gun, and opt to go in for a couple of his own plays. So now it's gonna be 2-5 on the scoreboard, and Kalashnikov, I do believe that it is gonna be quite an interesting save, because now Headhunters, they have that operator once again, but they need to be playing it a little bit more differently. Now, we already do see that all the members are making their push up towards the side of A main, with the fast lane coming on onto the head of Aesop, taking him down almost instantly. But Mok, look at his position. He's trying to play it aggressively, but at the same time, with the Killjoy ultimate coming on through from the side of Missile, this could be detrimental. Fancy, he gets the first initial pick up onto that operator. It has been taken down, but you have to remember that Savage, he still has the resurrection. Basically, one more person could be coming up in a matter of seconds if he has his positions down correctly. But Fancy, he is just so smart. Puts up that wall almost immediately, but Elias trying to let smoke, gets the kill down on the shoot screen. Absolutely disgusting game sense coming out from this man. Massive brain indeed. But Mok, he knows for a fact that Hate is moving out on the side of mid. They're opting to play in for that retake, but already it's 4 versus 4 on the map. He needs to try and get this kill. If he's able to fight it, it could be deadly, but instead it's gonna be Hate Crew being able to shoot a bullet straight through his skull. Well played. When it comes to the crosshair from Hate Crew, he would get a kill of his own, but Fancy is fighting for a bit more than he could chew if he does not play his cards right. But he's playing it smart. He's opting to play from inside of the smoke, wait for the smoke to dissipate, and then jump out and get a couple of kills on his own. The bodies are gonna be rubbing him down one after the next. A beautiful paranoia coming up from the side of Hate Crew, being able to play up everything for his teammate. Fancy with a triple, Hate Crew with a double. That's all that he needs, ladies and gentlemen. And it's gonna be Sasuke trying to find something, trying to survive, trying to get a kill for his team. to make them have a tiny bit of an economic advantage, but with all the members on the side of Exceeli hunting it like hunting dogs. It is going to be a side of Exceeli being able to take us down to a 2-6 and a very dominant scoreline on the side of Split itself.
Well, seeing this, like, having that amount of, pressure, pointing out the enemies, having that amount of, the momentum of winning is really, like, not so much, good for the health of that, the opponents. Because, this kind of pressure in a tournament situation can be really, really, devastating, heartbreaking sometimes. And seeing right now, like, unstoppable push coming out from the side of Exceeli Esports is really like, making them happen. And we're seeing GSC, Elias and Mock out of the first kill on the board. Okay, so we're seeing also turrets coming out on the board, and that frags coming out of both of the team. Can Fancy get it back? Oh! Ace up with the shotgun jump with the shorty. Oh my lord! Now we're seeing Miza 1v2 situation, and one operator from Aesop. They're really holding the mid angle, guarding the bomb like it's Fort Knox coming out. And can Mizzle penetrate Fort Knox is what we really want to see right now. Swamp grenade on the board. Positions giving up. Everyone knows where everyone is. He's trying to go for, angle checks, waiting for them. And he does break one part of Fort Knox and also one really damaged right now. So it's gonna be 1v2 doable. That's some distraction coming out from the side of Aesop and Mock holding off the angle. Almost gets a frag on the board. Can he get the frag? No, he doesn't. Mock to finish off the frag, and it's 3 on the side of GSCHH and also on the side 6 on Exceeli. And Exceeli with a really good momentum, but the momentum is just being broke once again. And hoping to see both of the teams coming off the board and a force buy coming out on the side of GSCHH.
It's a little bit too close for comfort, honestly, Shinko. Because that just literally was off by a hair. If Missile's crosshair placement was on point in that situation, that would have been an easy kill for him. And then he immediately could have gotten a kill down onto Mock as well, because Mock, he would have been shocked in that scenario. But at the same time, I do believe that with this fast push coming on down from the side of Headhunters, that caught the entirety of Exceeli off guard. They did not believe that the side of Headhunters, they had the confidence to go in for such an aggressive rush, and they were able to shut him down. But Missile this time around, he does not miss the operator shot, but instead he opts to go in for a jiggle. But Sasuke, he held that tight and immediately shuts down Missile as he opts to go in for his own jiggle. A beautiful showing of crosshair placement coming down from the side of Sasuke, but at the same time with the pushes coming on down onto the side of Feminine, it's gonna be a fast spray from the side of Zolo Crazy. He wants to try to establish as much control as he possibly can, but Sasuke, he's able to shut down Fancy as well. The resurrection is not gonna be present, ladies and gentlemen, but with a flying Jutri being able to take down one, it's gonna be Mock trying to take down multiple. The sprays are gonna be coming on through, but instead it's gonna be Jutri being able to find his second. Jutri wants to find his third, but instead it's gonna be Zolo fighting his second down. And it's gonna be the two duelists taking a 4 frag siege, Missile with the 1, and that's gonna be 3 and 7 on the scoreboard, taking us down to round number 11.
Well, seeing this, I mean, sometimes, what I see is maybe GSCHH is gonna come back. Again, once again, we see this kind of devastating rounds wiping out GSCHH once again on the Exceeli side. And hope is sometimes being brought, again, hope is sometimes being lost. So this is what that makes the difference between a team, difference between every one of us and every one of those teams coming off the board. And we're seeing this one-sided, brutality coming out from the side. Oh my god! He gets the first frag of the board, really, first in time! Oh, he couldn't finish one. JC Mock finished off Fancy on the board. And maybe it's a 1 frag off the board, but it was pretty quick quick kill coming out of one of the teams. We are seeing Savage on mid with a shotgun once again? I mean, with the Bucky? That's, I don't know, that's questionable sometimes, because seeing that this is not so much ineffective, and we are seeing Shufrix taking frag back on Mock. Mock did take some damage, but did get a kill on the board. Hate crew on the plan. 2v2 situation. It's Savage still on this side, trying to get a kill. Maybe they're gonna just give up the round, but oh my god, where were you looking, Savage? That's not how you peek. It's up to one guy, it's Sasuke with a Sheriff. Let's see, can he really prove himself the sheriff of the board?
Now, what exactly happened in this round in particular? And once again, I'm really going to be focusing on the composition. They don't really have a way of stopping any sort of these types of aggressive pushes. Once again, they're purely relying on their gunfight capabilities, and I understand what they are trying to do with this certain composition, but at the same time, it just is so lacking in comparison towards the side of Exceeli. They have that raise, they have that killjoy, they have so much to work with, and also they have that Sage to slow down even more when it comes to their own personal post-ban
round before
situations,
the
and
switch.
you can see the pain, you can see the pressure that the side of Headhunters are facing. They don't have any way of stopping these aggressive and deadly pushes coming out from all the members of the side of Exceeli. They're not opting to go in for aggressive pushes. They know for a fact that the composition that the side of Headhunters have, they are gonna be the ones to peak first. And when they peak, it is just an easy matter for the side of Exceeli to hold down their ground and just one-tap them one by one. Because when you are the person peaking, unless you hit the first initial bullet, the person holding the angle is of course going to be winning out because of how peaking works in this one particular game. And against players like Zolo, players like Shoespree, they are just dangerous when you let them have that 1 millisecond to readjust their aim. And already they're showcasing what they can do. But with the shots coming on through down on this A side, instead of being a slow rush, it's going to be a fast rush from all the members of the side of Exceeli. They playing aggressive side control with a beautiful ultimate coming out from the side of the field, and the shots are going to be waiting on it one by one. Is going to be Savage being able to get that first initial. They got 1 man down, 2 man down from the side of Sasuke, and already it's 4 versus 2 on the map, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the type of hold that the side of the defender should be doing. They should be waiting for the aggressive rush to come on through and then play for the retake, play for the picks. They should not be giving up the side. They should be playing it for much more of the off angles, and they played this round beautifully to take us down to this 1 versus 3. But still, we cannot count Hate Crew out because he has pulled off insane clutches if you let him. But at the same time, I think I spoke a little bit too soon. Counter Skurs does come on through for an 8 on the scoreboard to end off the
Switching
first half.
sides.
Well, on the other side of the board, we're seeing Switch coming off, and we're seeing Exceeli on the defensive side, and GSAH on the side of attacking. And speaking of which, we'll be seeing aggressive pushes maybe coming up from GSAH, because as I know, as I saw Exceeli playing before, like when you play as an aggressive, devastating aggressive team, I think you also know how to stop that. So Exceeli, what they always do is, as they're so good at pushing, they're also really good at holding, especially retaking, because retakes really matter, because if the attackers, sometimes you just need to leave the site and just let your enemies take the site, and then you regroup again and then you retake. That's what the quality of a good team is. That's what really defines how really good you are. And we're seeing GC Mog with the first frag on Fancy, Hate creating the frag walk, and back at Mog, and HH Savage on the kill. Missile gets the first frag on the Ace up, and it's 3v2 situation. And we're seeing 3 frenzies, 2 classic and 1 frenzy. So maybe we might see some fire-ups of the board. We're seeing mission pistols all the way on the side of GSCHH. And Sure Freaks with the boombot going off. He knows where everyone is. Can the boombot do some damage? No, it couldn't. But it does give up the position of them. And they're just going for the rotation. They're just still rotating. Maybe they might expect this at A, but they're just using their brain once again, trying to make a very small and a very quiet push towards B. Since they have 40 seconds on the clock, it's now or never, and it's push coming off, and we might see one-sided pushes coming off, and they're really being really slow on that. And we get Missile first frag off the board. Can Missile get second frag off the board? Missile! That's 2 dink, but Elias takes back a frag on Missile.
1 enemy remaining.
Really low Shoe Freaks on the
down B.
on the nades. And that's it. Shoe Freaks wins off the Savage, and round comes off on the side of Exceeli. 9-4. 9 for Exceeli, 4 for GSCHH.
This is what happens if you try and second guess yourself too much when it comes to a lot of your execution rushes. For example, in that scenario, Aesop, he was walking up alone from the side of B main when there should be someone always, and I mean always with you whenever you're pushing down from the side of being me. You know for a fact that one person has to be holding down from inside of sight, and if you die out to that one singular person, you're not really gonna be able to come on back because there's no one to go for that trade. And if you don't have B main control, pushing down from the side of heaven is not feasible at all, primarily because the heaven push can be coming on through. You trying to take side control against a person that has B main control in his favor, not really going to be doing you any favors whatsoever. And in that one round in particular, you saw Headhunters not being able to get that one out, primarily because they second guessed themselves. They were trying to take those 1-versus-1 fights instead of opting to play together as a team and play for trades instead. Like, that was the main issue. And now on this 4-9, I do believe that the entirety of Headhunters, they're playing it slow, they're playing it systematically, but at the same time, Exceeli, they're giving up no ground on their own accord.
Well, seeing that was like the most different and most non-expected part, you know, is that sometimes they're like, you know, the same type of playstyle never fails. Like, everyone knows how Exceeli plays, still they're not able to like stop them, you know. Like, that's the worst part of a team. Well, when you're being undefeatable, even though enemies do see how you play, they
30
know how you
seconds left.
play, you play with them twice, thrice, or maybe more. They never miss it. And we're seeing 2 frags coming up on the side of Exceeli, third
Spike
frag.
down,
Savage
B.
and Mock with a good pistol round. As usual, they're really good at pistol. Hate Crew does some damage, and they know that the 2-versus-3 situation, it's SMGs versus
Spike
one.
planted.
SMGs versus SMGs
One
rifle
enemy
versus
remaining.
the pistols here. And we're seeing only our Sage girl over there taking out the healers out the board, and we're seeing round win on the side of Exceeli once again, and that's a double digit coming out from the Exceeli, and them being undefeatable right now. Still, it's looking really good on the side of Exceeli, and really this time I think it's now or never, because if GSCHH doesn't come back, doesn't make, you know, amends to their mistakes, their small errors, I don't think this is gonna be anything we might expect from GSC.
Was eco round coming out on the side of GSC Headhunters in that particular round. So now is their one and only buy round, because if they lose out on this, they need to go in for a force in the following round, because you never want to give up match point towards the side of your opponents. And if you give up match point, you're just under so much pressure that it's not going to be working out on your side. But once again, the positioning from the side of Missile, he's not even going to let them jiggle. The way he has his crosshairs set up, it's just so clean with this turret. He has the double peek set up with the turret instead. This basically is why Killjoy is such a driving force on this one particular map. And Missile is actually also playing it smart. He's opting to not place down any of his utility on the board, primarily because he wants to try and use it for the retake instead. So that all the members of the side of Headhunters, they cannot break his utility, and he can opt to use it for retake as he would need to if he needs to back off from the side and give side control away. But at the same time, it seems as though every single time the side of Headhunters are trying to go in for a peek, they're opting to go for the peek solo. They do not have someone to make first contact and then go in for the trades. But finally, with a good execution coming on through from the side of Headhunters, one by one, they're piling on in, but with the backup already gone through, all the crossfires being set one by one. It's going to be BongoBD able to get the first initial take off, but I don't think Hayden's going to be giving up anything, ladies and gentlemen. He throws out the paranoia to try and delay as long as he possibly can. But with a 3 versus 3 coming on out with a revive from their side. A beautiful grenade from the side of Shootfreak as well. With a good dash from the side of Dolo being able to get a lot of information. The trades are going to be going on through. It's going to be Dolo being able to come on top. The flashes and the dashes are coming on through. Savage tries to do what he can with that classic, but the consecutive right clicks do not get the proper shots that they need to after the recent nerfs came on through to the accuracy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, basically means it's 4-11 on the scoreboard, and Headhunters, they're on the back foot. They need to go in for a force buy, otherwise they cannot fight properly for that overtime.
Well, having to see in a situation like that, Headhunters have been in the past. We've also seen in the matches in Amateur Cup, in Pro, in Invitationals, we are also seeing them in the same situation as before. They initially fought really good, but at the later rounds, Exceeli always tends to, you know, push and get back. We're seeing Fancy with a judge, okay? There's a full-out rush on A on the side of GSCHH. Can they take back the round? All hell break loose. We might be seeing one frag on the board. Fresh frag on the board, but couldn't take the second. Shootfreak takes back on the track.
One enemy
Hello?
remaining.
Fancy? as it does a bit of more damage, but everyone knows that the Sage is in heaven. Let's see what happens. Can you get the frag? And that's it. Easy one for Exceeli once again. It's game ball
Match
4.
point.
Game ball for Exceeli and GSCH on 4.
12 and 4 on the scoreboard. It is match point for their side, and things look dark for the side of HH. But at the same time, I can't give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they're gonna be able to clutch this one out. But at the same time, when you look at their buys, they don't have any favorable weaponry on their side. A lot of their members opting to force into their multiple different half shields, and one opting to go in for the knights itself,
Get out of
being the
my
jet.
way.
They want to try and see what they can do, but when it comes to the competition, once again, it just not really working out in their favor. There's not many things that they can find, but at the same time, I do believe that if Aesop is able to hit shots like that, that could be working out in their favor to keep their hopes and dreams alive for this first map in particular. But at the same time, they used up so much utility, and with Juicer getting that first initial kill down onto Sasuke, no lurk being present, no lurk potential as well, and now the side of Headhunters, they're now stuck like turkeys down onto the side of mid, trying and execute down onto any of these sides, but they're just covered from every single angle. One single rotation, a snap of a finger, and all the members of Exceeli, they're just gonna be pouncing on them in a matter of seconds.
Well, speaking of pouncing, we might see like pounces coming off at A really soon, and them going for the big rotation and split. And sometimes I feel really sad that they're picking up Sage, and Sage always playing up like the duelist roles is sometimes really not nice to see, because Sage being
30
like
seconds left.
I mean, an operator like that, you always need to use them when in full support or really supportive roles here. But we're seeing Sage being really aggressive on the side of GSC, HH also on the side of Exceeli too. But sometimes I really question the fact, isn't Sage nerfed? And we saw recently the peak rate of Sage coming down. So what's up? Why are
Last
you picking
player
up Sage?
standing.
We can talk about that just in a little bit, but as Exceeli just clean up this round and this particular match.
Wait. Match just finished, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Defenders win.
that's really nice to watch. I was like talking and match has already been finished, and once again it's a win on split on the side of Exceeli Esports. It was really comforting to watch Exceeli being one-sided, man.
But at the same time, like as you were stating before about the side of the Sage and why it's getting picked up in this particular map itself, and why it is one of the strongest picks, I would personally say, on every other map. Even after the recent nerfs to Sage, just because her wall is a lot more potent than what it used to be, is why Sage is being picked up a lot more frequently. Because Sage not only gives the heal, yes, it is a nerfed heal, but still it is a heal, and with the resurrection coming on through from her, she can systematically just be a pseudo duelist in a way, being able to heal herself, heal her allies, use her slow orbs to slow down a lot of the aggressive pushes that could be coming on through with certain types of composition. And I do believe that Savage here, when it came to his utility usage, he was not really as smart as you would have expected him to be. For example, with a lot of these aggressive rushes coming on down towards the side of Amy, the one round in particular I have to highlight coming out from the side of Headhunters is that they were playing it smart when it came to them opting for a defensive hold. And in that situation, Savage, he threw out the slow orbs onto the side of A-Ramps, onto the side of A-Mid, giving Elias the chance to opt to go in for a peek, catch the side of Exceeli off guard, and get picks from there. But instead, when it came to the rounds that the side of Headhunters lost, it was all due to the fact that they were opting to go in for peaks on their own, not setting up trades, not setting up crossfires, falling short. And it was Exceeli having such a dominant win on the map of Split. And honestly, Shnikov, when it comes to the map of Ascent, I'm really scared for the side of Headhunters, honestly speaking.
Well, Ascent is a map of holding angles, trying to get those tough frags, those tight angles, those pushes. Because once you get an entry on a map in a site like Ascent, it's like basically undefeatable or unstoppable. Because after plant or aftermath of plant, if the attackers can get inside and get the plant out, like those hiding spots, those cheeky spots for 3, 4, or 5 of them is gonna be really tough for retake, and especially on the side of Heavens on the both sides, it's gonna be really really hard for any of the attackers to take the side or the defenders to retake. So if Exceeli is really good at basically, stepping inside, killing everyone, getting the side, getting the plant off, or defending or retaking, I think what you say, it's gonna be true.
That is for sure. But still, ladies and gentlemen, that's all speculations because Headhunters, they could pull off an amazing comeback and come back even stronger and take map number 2 for themselves, and we could be going into map number 3. But still, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be taking a short break as of right now as we do set up the games. So we're going to be seeing you shortly with the ESPL PowerUp Bangladesh Cup. See you in a bit.
Every young gamer wants to become an esports professional. We make it happen. You just keep on winning.
স্বাগতম বাংলাদেশের জন্য ESPL Valorant PowerUp সিরিজ ফরম্যাটে আপনাকে জানাই স্বাগতম। এই সিরিজটি রায়ট গেমস দক্ষিণ এশিয়া সমর্থিত একটি উদ্যোগ যা বাংলাদেশের ভেতরে অপেশাদার গেমারদের প্রতিভা বজায় রাখতে এবং বৃদ্ধি করতে সহায়তা করবে। এর সুবিধার্থে পাওয়ার আপ সিরিজটিতে প্রতি মাসে 2টি প্রাইজ পুল সহ 2টি টুর্নামেন্ট থাকবে। প্রতিটি মাস শুরু হবে একটি বাছাই পর্বের সাথে, যেখানে সবগুলি দল সিঙ্গল এলিমিনেশন ফরম্যাটে প্রতিযোগিতা করবে শীর্ষ 8টি দল পর্যন্ত, এবং এই 8টি দল অ্যামেচার কাপে উত্তীর্ণ হবে। এই 8টি দল ডাবল এলিমিনেশনে লড়াই করবে এবং বিজয়ী শীর্ষস্থানীয় 3টি দল আমন্ত্রিত হবে ইনভিটেশনাল কাপে। ইনভিটেশনাল কাপে প্রতিযোগিতা করবে শীর্ষস্থানীয় 3টি দল এবং আমন্ত্রিত 3টি দল। ইনভিটেশনাল কাপের সময় অপেশাদার কাপ এবং ইনভিটেশনাল কাপের শীর্ষ 2টি দল উচ্চ ব্র্যাকেটে খেলবে এবং তৃতীয় স্থানের দলগুলি একই পর্বের নিম্ন ব্র্যাকেটে খেলবে। প্রথম রাউন্ডের প্রতিটি ম্যাচ হবে সিঙ্গল এলিমিনেশন ফরম্যাটে। উচ্চ ব্র্যাকেটের 2টি বিজয়ী দল তারপর ডাবল এলিমিনেশন পর্যায়ে এগিয়ে যাবে। ডাবল এলিমিনেশন পর্বে হেরে যাওয়া দলটি তখন নিম্ন ব্র্যাকেটের দলের বিপক্ষে প্রতিদ্বন্দ্বিতা করবে। এই পর্যায়ে নিম্ন ব্র্যাকেটের যে দলটি হারবে তাদেরকে তৃতীয় স্থান হিসেবে শিরোনাম দেওয়া। ইনভিটেশনাল কাপে অংশ নেওয়া সমস্ত 6টি দল পরের মাসের অপেশাদার কাপে আবার প্রতিযোগিতা করে বেরিয়ে আসতে হবে, যার উদ্দেশ্য নতুন এবং উন্নত দলগুলিকে অপেশাদার কাপে প্রতিযোগিতার সুযোগ দেওয়া। এর দ্বারা ইনভিটেশনাল কাপে আরও অভিজ্ঞ দলের সাথে তাদের দক্ষতা পরীক্ষার চক্রটি পুনরাবৃত্তি করা হচ্ছে। আমরা অর্থাৎ ESPL কিভাবে বাংলাদেশের দলগুলি পাওয়ার আপ সিরিজে পারফর্ম করে তা দেখার অপেক্ষায় রয়েছি। আপনার স্কোয়াড প্রস্তুত করুন এবং সিরিজটি শুরু হওয়ার জন্য প্রস্তুত থাকুন। গুড লাক এজেন্টস।
Hello, this is Zar from Sabers Esports. ESPL Valorant PowerUp Bangladesh will start on the 4th of March. Please register at espl.gt to compete against the best teams in Bangladesh. Good luck, guys. ডিফেন্স সাইডে সবথেকে ইম্পর্টেন্ট জিনিস হচ্ছে ইনফরমেশন। এই ইনফরমেশন আমরা তিনভাবে জোগাড় করতে পারি। একটা হচ্ছে ভিশন, সেকেন্ড সাউন্ড, থার্ড হচ্ছে অ্যাবিলিটিস ইউজ করে। আপনারা এভাবে জিগল করে করে ইনফরমেশন নিতে পারেন। দিস ইজ ভিশন। হয় মুভ করে করে আপনারা ইনফরমেশন পেতে পারেন কোথায় এনিমি আসে নাকি না। সাউন্ড আমরা রাউন্ডের শুরুতে যেমন এখানে থাকলে আমরা জানতে পারি যে সিতে কেউ দৌড়াচ্ছে নাকি না। যদি কেউ না থাকে তাহলে আমরা কিছু একটা করতে পারি, পুশ করতে পারি অথবা রোটেট করতে পারি। হয় অ্যাবিলিটিস দিয়ে আপনি ম্যাপে পার্ট ক্লিয়ার করতে পারেন অথবা ইনফরমেশন পেতে পারেন যে এনিমি কোথা থেকে খেলে। এভাবে আপনি আপনার ডিফেন্সের খেলা ইমপ্রুভ করতে পারেন। গুড লাক।
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Tassim Ashrafi. Most of you might recognize me as Mizal. I'm the captain of Exceeli Esports Valorant team. So I started gaming in 2015, and back then I used to get destroyed. First of all, you have to understand this is a team game. Secondly, every 5 member cannot frag in a single team. Only 1 or 2 will, and the rest have to support. So after losing a tournament, don't get frustrated and disband the team. Try to sticking together and try to build chemistry and grind together. And lastly, the thing I want to share, I didn't get here in 1 day or even 1 year. It took me years of hard work and determination to perfect my craft and to make a name for myself. Do not be motivated if things do not go your way. We'll start in the same place. Don't give up and keep on striving to get better. So this is Mizail signing off. Peace.
Hello guys, I'm Lunatic from Esports. Today I will give you guys some tips about how to get better on Valorant. So the first thing you can do is you can work with your aim. To get a better aim, you need to learn proper strafing, you need to have perfect sensitivity, and you should have good crosshair placement. Secondly, what you can work is you have to play as much as you can, so eventually you will get better and your game sense will grow up. Thirdly, what you can do is you can work on your communication, because there is a lot of player who has great aim, but because of their communication skills they lose a lot of matches or can be a better team player. If you work on these three: communication, playing as much as you can, and your aim, you will eventually get better on Valorant. That's the key mechanics.
Every young gamer wants to become an esports professional. We make it happen. You just keep on winning.
স্বাগতম। বাংলাদেশের জন্য ESPL Valorant PowerUp সিরিজ ফরম্যাটে আপনাকে জানাই স্বাগতম। এই সিরিজটি রায়ট গেমস দক্ষিণ এশিয়া সমর্থিত একটি উদ্যোগ, যা বাংলাদেশের ভেতরে অপেশাদার গেমারদের প্রতিভা বজায় রাখতে এবং বৃদ্ধি করতে সহায়তা করবে। এর সুবিধার্থে পাওয়ার আপ সিরিজটিতে প্রতি মাসে 2টি প্রাইজ পুল সহ 2টি টুর্নামেন্ট থাকবে। প্রতিটি মাস শুরু হবে একটি বাছাই পর্বের সাথে, যেখানে সবগুলি দল সিঙ্গল এলিমিনেশন ফরম্যাটে প্রতিযোগিতা করবে শীর্ষ 8টি দল পর্যন্ত, এবং এই 8টি দল অ্যামেচার কাপে উত্তীর্ণ হবে। এই 8টি দল ডাবল এলিমিনেশনে লড়াই করবে এবং বিজয়ী শীর্ষস্থানীয় 3টি দল আমন্ত্রিত হবে ইনভিটেশনাল কাপে। ইনভিটেশনাল কাপে প্রতিযোগিতা করবে শীর্ষস্থানীয় 3টি দল এবং আমন্ত্রিত 3টি দল। ইনভিটেশনাল কাপের সময় অপেশাদার কাপ এবং ইনভিটেশনাল কাপের শীর্ষ 2টি দল উচ্চ ব্র্যাকেটে খেলবে, এবং তৃতীয় স্থানের দলগুলি একই পর্বের নিম্ন ব্র্যাকেটে খেলবে। প্রথম রাউন্ডের প্রতিটি ম্যাচ হবে সিঙ্গল এলিমিনেশন ফরম্যাটে। উচ্চ ব্র্যাকেটের 2টি বিজয়ী দল তারপর ডাবল এলিমিনেশন পর্যায়ে এগিয়ে যাবে। ডাবল এলিমিনেশন পর্বে হেরে যাওয়া দলটি তখন নিম্ন ব্র্যাকেটের দলের বিপক্ষে প্রতিদ্বন্দ্বিতা করবে। এই পর্যায়ে নিম্ন ব্র্যাকেটের যে দলটি হারবে তাদেরকে তৃতীয় স্থান হিসেবে শিরোনাম দেওয়া। ইনভিটেশনাল কাপে অংশ নেওয়া সমস্ত 6টি দল পরের মাসের অপেশাদার কাপে আবার প্রতিযোগিতা করে বেরিয়ে আসতে হবে, যার উদ্দেশ্য নতুন এবং উন্নত দলগুলিকে অপেশাদার কাপে প্রতিযোগিতার সুযোগ দেওয়া। এর দ্বারা ইনভিটেশনাল কাপে আরও অভিজ্ঞ দলের সাথে তাদের দক্ষতা পরীক্ষার চক্রটি পুনরাবৃত্তি করা হচ্ছে। আমরা অর্থাৎ ESPL কিভাবে বাংলাদেশের দলগুলি পাওয়ার আপ সিরিজে পারফর্ম করে তা দেখার অপেক্ষায় রয়েছি। আপনার স্কোয়াড প্রস্তুত করুন এবং সিরিজটি শুরু হওয়ার জন্য প্রস্তুত থাকুন। গুড লাক এজেন্টস।
Hello, this is Zar from Sabers Esports. ESPL Valorant PowerUp Bangladesh will start on the 4th of March. Please register at espl.gt to compete against the best teams in Bangladesh. Good luck, guys. ডিফেন্স সাইডে সবথেকে ইম্পর্টেন্ট জিনিস হচ্ছে ইনফরমেশন। এই ইনফরমেশন আমরা তিনভাবে জোগাড় করতে পারি। একটা হচ্ছে ভিশন, সেকেন্ড সাউন্ড, থার্ড হচ্ছে অ্যাবিলিটিস ইউজ করে। আপনারা এভাবে জিগল করে করে ইনফরমেশন নিতে পারেন। দিস ইজ ভিশন। হয় মুভ করে করে আপনারা ইনফরমেশন পেতে পারেন কোথায় এনিমি আসে নাকি না। সাউন্ড আমরা রাউন্ডের শুরুতে যেমন এখানে থাকলে আমরা জানতে পারি যে সিতে কেউ দৌড়াচ্ছে নাকি না। যদি কেউ না থাকে তাহলে আমরা কিছু একটা করতে পারি, পুশ করতে পারি অথবা রোটেট করতে পারি। হয় অ্যাবিলিটিস দিয়ে আপনি ম্যাপে পার্ট ক্লিয়ার করতে পারেন অথবা ইনফরমেশন পেতে পারেন যে এনিমি কোথেকে খেলে। এভাবে আপনি আপনার ডিফেন্সের খেলা ইমপ্রুভ করতে পারেন। গুড লাক।
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Tasman Shafiq. Most of you might recognize me as Mizail. I'm the captain of Exceeli Esports Valorant team. So I started gaming in 2015 and back then I used to get destroyed. First of all, you have to understand this is a team game. Secondly, every 5 member cannot frag in a single team. Only 1 or 2 will and the rest have to support. So after losing a tournament, don't get frustrated and disband the team. Try to sticking together and try to build chemistry and grind together. And lastly, the thing I want to share, I didn't get here in 1 day or even 1 year. It took me years of hard work and determination to perfect my craft and to make a name for myself. Do not be motivated if things do not go your way. We'll start in the same place. Don't give up and keep on striving to get better. So this is Mizail signing off. Peace.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with the ESPL Bangladesh PowerUp series with map number 2 of this amazing matchup of GSE Headhunters going up against Exceeli. Now, map number 1 was a little bit of a question mark coming out from the side of Headhunters because primarily they were not playing as smart as you would have expected them to play. And on map number 2, they need to try and bring it back because now it is their home map, but at the same time, it is a map where Exceeli are very dominant on if you give them the chance to go in for a lot of the fights that they want to take.
Well, speaking of dominance, like always, like playing like that, headhunters really need to understand what is going on. Because if they do not understand how really, excuse me, how really Exili is trying to pull off every move they're going through, I don't think they're even gonna budge them up a bit. So yeah. So coming up on the picks of here, we're seeing defenders defenders being GSCHH, Savage with Sova, Sasuke with Cypher, Elias with Omen, Aesop once again with Jet. On the other side, Zolo Crazy's Jet, Mizzle with Sova, Hate Crew with the Phoenix, Shufrix with Omen, and Fancy Nine with the Cypher. Similar peak, except for the fact that we might be seeing something different coming out on the side of GSC. Let's see what they pick up. We're seeing uh, almost selected. That's Sage, maybe. Yeah. So I think they're still in the indecision of what they're gonna select next. So
Now they're trying to see what they can do, but at the same time, Mock opting to go
Choose your
in
agent.
for a Sage would be quite a questionable pickup in my eyes. So I do believe that he is going to be opting to go in for that Phoenix nonetheless. But a little bit of a technical difficulty coming out from one of the team members, and they have opted to go in for restart. So let's just talk about what exactly happened when it comes to the agent selection coming out from the side of Exceeli, as they all picked up their correct matchups. So it is Hate Crew actually going on to the Phoenix, and that is going to be quite an interesting pickup because Hate Crew as a player, we normally always see him on that Omen, and now seeing him on this Phoenix, it's gonna be quite an interesting pickup, don't you think, Shnikov?
well, I think so, cause a person playing something like a controller, which is really supportive, defensive, holding off angles, not being aggressive, to transforming into something that is really really aggressive, pushes everyone, gets off the entry, is like switching a whole different level because you are accustomed to play something like this and then you're switching to something else. Like that's really questionable thing. But if really Hate Crew can manage up that push, and maybe he's trying to try something different in a tournament match, maybe he is hopeful, or maybe he knows his way around, or maybe he does know how to use it. Mainly how to use a duelist like Phoenix. So maybe they might make us some difference coming out of that, maybe, or maybe not. But sometimes picking something else rather than your own sandbox might give you an upper hand sometimes. So let's see what happens. Is this gonna be the same pick or a change?
Let's see what we can expect coming out from both of these teams on the agent select screen. And they're now really fast. They're just picking up those agents in a matter of seconds. And once again, it is the same competition coming out from the side of Headhunters, with that Reina, of course, going on to Mock. And it is going to be Hate Crew opting to go on to the Duelist and Shubsfreak on this Omen. Little bit of a question mark, don't you think, Shnikov? Because normally Shubsfreak is always the OTP jet player for the side of Exceeli.
Well, it's kind of questionable sometimes, but as I told you before, maybe they might be switching up
Experimenting.
roles. Yeah, experimenting, because after the last match, I think they're just, having some space between themselves. So they're just saying, all right, let's switch them and let's see what happens. Maybe they're gonna,
Yeah.
that stuff.
They're feeling themselves, let's just say, ladies and gentlemen. So at the same time, I was really excited to watch Usric play that Jet because he's such a treat whenever he pulls out that Blade Storm every single time. Because you know for a fact that he's gonna be hitting some crispy headshots if you give him that chance. But at the same time, let's just try and focus on what kind of strategies we can expect coming out from the side of Exceeli in comparison to the side of Headhunters. And once again, Headhunters, they have a strong composition, and this is a composition that will work really well for this one particular map. Primarily because you do have to remember, on the map of Ascent, a Killjoy, yes, it is really powerful if you know how to play it, but you having that Sova will allow you to use the aggression coming out from the Reyna and the Jet in a much more of a systematic manner, giving you the advantages because now you're taking the fights not dry but with information. That was primarily the flaw that the side of Headhunters were facing in the previous matchup. They were playing it much more for those 1 versus 1 duels without any form of information falling back on the back foot. But now with the push coming on down towards the side of A main and alt control also being established, it is going to be more breaking down the doors so that no advantages could be coming on through for the side of the defenders. A lot of noise has been made and it's going to be Ace of slowly making his way down towards the side of Spawn, misses them by a couple of seconds. And now with the push going down towards the side of A main, Exceeli, they're going to be the ones to go in for a fast execution in a couple of seconds.
Executions, seeing the teams like that, like waiting for, the calm, waiting calmly, trying to get information is really doable. So we are seeing all out Hail Break Loose, Jailbreak pushing up on the side of Exceeli. Exceeli getting inside the side, taking that angle. Mark gets the push back on the board. What is happening? Bloodbath, violent, and fancy.
Last player standing.
Solo Crazy getting the frag off. It's all up to Ace.
One enemy
Oh
remaining.
my god, Ace! Oh my god, Ace gets a second frag! Finish off the round! Oh my god, that was quick. That's really quick. Really quick. And Headhunter successfully with that win again on the side of pistol rounds. Excellent.
Those shots were just so crispy, one by one, just tapping heads. I do believe that that first map, it was a war room, and now is where you activated Aesop, ladies and gentlemen. Aesop not opting to go in for that save by just buying up a ghost in his round in particular, so he's gonna be playing it slow, instead opting to go in for the Spectre buy, playing it safe and playing it systematically instead of playing it for that operator buy. But at the same time, I would love to see this operator coming out from him. But I do believe all the members of the side of Exceeli, they are mad of what exactly happened in that last round in particular. And they have opted to go in for those force buys. But at the same time, they do need to be careful because the shotguns are going to be raining on in. And so he could be taking a lot of damage if he's not careful. Savage, a little bit of a questionable shock dart. But still, nothing, no harm, no foul. With the push coming on down towards the side of mid itself. The entirety of Exceeli, they're playing it slow, they're playing it systematically, not giving up any sort of information and trying to find as many picks as they possibly can, but really smart from all the members of the side of Headhunters. They're playing it slow and they're playing it systematically. They're not giving away too much information, and this is really working out in their favor.
Well, seeing that, taking the first strike of the board, GSC Mox gets on the first strike of the Soul Crazy. So, looking at this match, it's looking just like the match before. Same one. We're seeing, oh my god, did he just push the Molotov and GSC getting fragged?
Spike down mid.
And
One enemy remaining.
Aesop getting one frag off the board, and
I have the spike.
Really
30 seconds left.
Frag, waiting. He gets the dink off the board, and he also gets dink instead. Two of them are low. Both of them are gonna push together. Shurfrix waiting for the enemies to come back. He's holding, smoking off the board. 15 seconds. He has to do or die, and GSC Sasuke does the judgment. Finish of the round with a judgment, and judges the round. So it's 2-0. 2 on the side of GSC HH and 0 on the side of Exceeli. So this can be two things. Either Exceeli is, doing that same stuff as before the last match at the last map. So this might be the same thing. Or maybe Exceeli is waiting for them to, have the funds, buy the arsenal, and get back to the match.
Now, the thing that Headhunters did very beautifully in that round in particular, they opted to go in for the double peaks instead of going in for that single peaks. Really working out in their favor, but at the same time, Bog, he had the crosshair placement, he had the spray control in his favor, but instead, it's going to be Zolo being able to take him out. But Zolo, once again, he gets
Spike
judged
down,
by
B.
Sasuke, getting a face full of bullets right in his face, and that will take him out almost instantly. But still, he's going to be able to upgrade to another gun for himself, and with his positioning really working out in his favor, he opts to go in for that spray. He actually is going to be able to take down Shoot Freak with a well-placed shot of his own. The cross and the counter strain really working out in his favor.
Last
But look
player
at those
standing.
shots coming out from Crew and Aesop one by one. The bodies are piling on up already, ladies and gentlemen. And Aesop, he played that beautifully, opting to go in for that jiggle and then that swing. But Missile now, the last member remaining, spots out the head of the Omen, opts to go in for the tabs, but the headshots are not connecting. The Sheriff sometimes not really something that you can tame easily. He does pay the price for it, but that's going to be 3-0 on the scoreboard. But now finally, it is going to be the first buy round for the side of Exceeli, and Zolo, he's opting to go in for that operator pickup for himself.
Zolo with the operator. I didn't see him much playing with operator because most of the times, like what I saw before is like a player like Zolo mostly uses their rifles, and I see sometimes it's a missile or sometimes Fancy 9 with the operator, but this time we might have seen something different. So all of them are still pushing, you know, having this split push coming up. Crew being really aggressive, holding this cheek angle, get the orb, and he is with an ultimate. Will he use the run it back to just get, you know, information in the site? Or maybe he's gonna stand here.
Joke's over!
Really hard to say. Run it back on the board, but he gets fired and taking out. Mizzle takes back Elias through the smoke. And it's really nice to watch.
I know
Fancy
exactly
that with
what
one
he's
tap with the Phantom here. And seeing a plant on the board. Molotov coming out on the side of 8 Crew. Does some damage, but not
Spike
fully.
planted.
We are seeing a full post-plant situation coming up from the Exceeli. As I told you before, guys, it's a site you've taken. It's really hard to take it back. Gets some, does some damage, but we are seeing almost all of the
Last player
taps.
standing.
Okay, one tap's coming up on the side of Exceeli. It's 4v1 situation, just spamming and missing. We're seeing the last guy, Sasuke, run for his life with the Vandal he has, and that's that. So round goes favor of Exceeli Esports. Exceeli trying to, you know, hunt him down, maybe get the frag, maybe takes back his lovely Vandal that he really ran across the map to save. Still running as we speak, but that's that. Sasuke gets one frag, luckily, and maybe his lovely Vandal did save his life after all.
The Vandal save really working out in their favor, because you do have to remember, with all of the consecutive rounds that they did win out in the previous rounds, that basically means that they're going to have a pretty easy time when it comes to the buys in this particular round as well. And Aesop is actually going to be able to pick up an operator for himself as well. Basically meaning that now they have a lot of firepower to work with, and a lot of the members still are able to go in for the buys. But still, you do have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, that Headhunters, they're in a pretty rough spot of their own, with so many rounds being won, but being won in such a scrappy fashion, with a lot of their members dying out before they were able to establish a concrete lead. Basically meaning that with this operator pickup, they're doing a massive investment, and if they're not able to make this operator work out in their side, they're gonna have a pretty rough time when it comes in terms of their economy. But Aesop, he does not miss those shots, and he's gonna be able to take down 8 Crew in a matter of seconds before he can even blink. And that is why you never want to try pick the side of middle. 8 Crew, he will pay the price for it. But now is where the real fun begins. It's gonna be 5 versus 4 on the map. Fancy, he's on that lurk, holding on down from the side of mid itself to see what he can find, with all of the other members from the side of Exceeli trying to size up this B side, but with no information being given away. And I'm really impressed now from the side of Headhunters. They're playing it systematically, they're playing it slow. They do not want to give any form of information away towards the side of Exceeli, because they won this win and they needed to keep their tournament dreams alive.
30 seconds left.
Now, they're playing it slow and they're playing it systematically, but at the same time, with the push coming on down from the side of Exceeli, what was that headshot? spree, being able to shut down one. Missile being able to take down another. That dash was working out so well. Missile with a double kill. So many bodies are piling on up, but Zolo is in the prime spot to get another kill of his own. The knives have been pulled down. The shots are going to be coming on in, but the knives are not going to be connecting though. It is going to be Savage being able to take down Zolo before the knives do cut him off, and that already is going to be proving a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Savage, he picks up that operator, see what he can find. Maybe this operator could be the deciding factor for the side of the defenders to try and pull down this round. The shots are going to be raining on in, but the shots are not connecting. Instead, it's going to be Fancy with headshots galore, one after the other. He gets those things and shuts them down. Already, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be 3-2 on the scoreboard, and such a beautiful showing of aim from all the members of the side of Exceeli.
Well, Exceeli, as I told you before, impressive. Like, you know, when they just started playing, sometimes, you know, when they start to, you know, make some noise, start off, like, always end up being the best. Because, like, look at them. First 2 rounds, the way GSC started, we were thinking like, oh my god, this time maybe GSC is gonna come back. But later on, after the 4th round passed off, when Exceeli got the full arsenal of the board, they just couldn't stand it. They just got inside, fragged everyone, got the plan, did the post-plan situation, and won the round. So maybe this time Exceeli is still not in the lead right now, but what I'm being hopeful that Exceeli is gonna come back once again, because having that aggression in their mind and a map like this, I don't think it's gonna be really a walking apart for GSC and neither for Exceeli. But maybe Exceeli could make a difference if they play like they really did in the past, like when you saw in the Amateur Cup and also in Invitational when they fight against Zeus Sabers, Mercenariez, or Hawks. Exceeli did really awesome on this map, and they just, you know, pushed them, obliterated the team, and got back the angles where they really wanted them to be. So this what makes the difference, that sometimes Exceeli's gameplay, their uncomparable gunfight mechanism is just, you know, next level for anyone. So yeah, that's that.
I do see a little bit of a question mark coming out from the back end of all the members of the side of Exceeli as they were ready to go through, but with the barrier coming on down because of the pulse itself, a little bit of a technical issue coming out from the side of Riot, but still in the long run, this is an equal round action coming out from the side of Headhunters, but the push is going to be coming on through and the shots are going to be in. Straight with that operator onto the side of Weedbox being able to take down Elias before he can even take that already. The shots are going to be raining on an Aesop, not going to be able to get that kill down with those knives. Two freaking sets and the bullet straight into his head to take him out. Savage trying to find a couple of his own kills. Not going to be able to get that tag though, and Fancy on that work. You don't want to face him out, and that's already going to be a team ace. One by one, the bodies were piling on up, and that is all of the members of Exceeli being able to get 1 kill each for themselves to get that team ace, solidify their lead, take us down to an even Steven scoreline of 3-3. And this is going to be the second buy round coming out from the side of Headhunters as well. And this is going to be a really important buy round because you do have to remember, Shnikov, that if the side of Headhunters are not able to stabilize their economy in this round in particular, because as they're making a massive investment, on that operator, it's going to be a huge dent to their momentum coming on forward. Because if you give a team like Exceeli a chance to set up their momentum and get the snowball on their side, they're going to be getting round after round, constantly taking you down to a 3-9 before you can even blink.
Well, actually, their linear pushes will falter any type of, you know, the plan strategies you really make, because, you know, every push, every like strategies be falter against one specific thing: raw skill, raw aim, gunfight situations. Whenever you make a plan strategy, it always depends. Either you're gonna win a gunfight or not. Now or never, you're just gonna face against a gunfight. And if you fail in that gunfight, your whole strategy is lost. You're forced to change your strategy, the way you're gonna play, the way you're gonna take the decisions. So that's what really makes the difference right now. And seeing the economy being not, if the economy is lost, it will really have to, you know, cause a lot of damage in the side of GSC, as you said before. And, you know, GSC holding up like this and waiting for the named enemies to get inside. I think they're still oblivious about the fact that 40 seconds left on the clock and there's gonna be a push soon enough on the side of B, because there are only 1 or 2 holding flanks on B, and Sasuke, if he picks,
Cage, they found my
it's gonna
wife. They
be
found
a
my
really
wife.
bad situation right now, and he gets
30
paranoid,
seconds left.
gets some damage, that's some damage. Can he get a frag? No, he couldn't get a second, he just crouched too early,
Standing
and
ahead.
finishes off. Couldn't get the frag off the board because he was too much more accurate. Plan goes off on the side of Exceeli, sorry.
Spike
And
planted.
it's 3v4 situation, post-match situation, really hard, really pressuring. They'll push 2v2 on both sides. It's gonna be do or die for both of the teams. You know, getting this angle, Aesop is just waiting because, you know, if Mizal peaks, it's gonna be a dead hole for both of them. So let's see what happens next. Aesop still holding. Savage
One
gets the
enemy
first frag on the
remaining.
board. Savage gets second frag on the board. Can he finish it? Elias gets the third frag, and the win comes on the side of GSCHH. And that's it. Well, at the end of the day, that wasn't a bit much more loss for GSCHH because they got the round, saved the operator. So much for so what? That's good. That's good coming out of GSC.
That was a really crucial round coming out from them as well. Not only were they able to win out on that round with a very beautiful retake of their own, being just leaving Aesop to hold down the side of Boathouse. Any sort of push that would be coming on down from the right hand side, he would have it covered. Any swing from the side of Green Box, any swing from the side of Deep Boathouse, he would be able to get that kill. And with a fast push coming down from 3 members from the side of Speedway, basically just pincering all the members of the side of Exceeli down onto one particular sideline. And this is what happens whenever you're holding down deep inside of side. That is why it's really important to try and spread out your members as much as possible, getting one of them down on the side of B main and then execute it down onto a side. But with 2 of their members already going on down early in that round in particular, this gave the side of GSC Headhunters that best possible advantage to come on back in this round in particular. The team play and coordination on this map of Ascent is just so clean coming out from them, but this is the real big question. What happened in the map was split because they were opting to go in for much more of the solo plays, but it's really refreshing to see that the side of Headhunters, they're able to come on back even better than before, primarily because it's now their do or die. Either they take this map or they are going to be the ones going on home, because this is the grand finals, ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to be hurting them quite a lot if they do not play their cards right. So now down in this round in particular, this is going to be the place where they need to try and establish their own lead. This is the last buy round for the side of this is going to be the second last buy round for the side of Exceeli, because now if they lose this one out, it means that more stabilization towards the side of Headhunters, because you do have to remember they were able to win out that last round with 4 members still alive, and now if they're able to win this one out as well, they are going to be able to snowball their economy even further. Aesop is going to be able to go in for secondary ops even if he loses out on this round, basically just getting as much eco advantage as possible to keep their ball rolling, to keep themselves in this competition, because they don't want to give any sort of an advantage towards the side of Exceeli, because as soon as they have that advantage, they're going to be utilizing it perfectly.
Well, perfection in that utilization. What I think is maybe GSC might have taken a few rounds, but I think in these technical difficulties, I guess Exceeli might have some, time to just think what they're gonna do next. Because as I told you before, like they just changed their compositions. Those players didn't play controllers, sentinels. They went for duelists, and duelists went for controllers or sentinels. So that's off the board. Like Exceeli really needs to understand what's going on, and they just need to slow down, understand the gameplay, and once again come back to the site, come back to the game. And right now we might be seeing the round goes off, timer goes off, Aesop playing the aggressive take of the board. Can he get some damage? I don't think so. He does, but he is pushing aggressively. Why would you do that, Aesop? Why would you get yourself killed? This is a suicide. You just lost your operator for a suicide. And that's that.
Joke's over! You're dead!
Get slashed by oh my god, on the face, on the face, he takes up Mod. Elias falling back, but couldn't get any frag. Sad for GSC, they just couldn't understand what hit them. Savage on the board, Savage gets one first frag on the board, gets everyone tagged, does some damage, 50 HP.
Revealing area.
This is gonna be really hard for the GSC to take back, because it's a full take. and Sasuke on
Last
the run.
player standing.
And Shufri stays over Savage. It's Mizzle trying to get back the frag. There's the information coming up. Shock guard on the way, trying to, pushing back the enemy. Sasuke going for a flank or maybe the exit frag on the heaven. He's gonna plan. Yes, he is. And does one tap. Shufrix. Everyone knows where the enemy is. He's still gonna face it. Mizzle finishes off Sasuke and maybe shocks him out.
Shock darts reigning supreme from the side of Missile, but a good execution from the side of Exceeli. They played that round beautifully, primarily because you do have to remember, with that running back being present, they were able to just push themselves forward into the side. And I really love the fact that Zolo, he did not opt to push in through that smoke himself, because just imagine the situation. Mok was holding it. If Zolo made that push, he was just immediately dead. But he waited for the calls to come out from the side of Hate to be like, hey, I have my run it back. I'm gonna pop it. I'm gonna clear out the front side for you so that you can get all of the kills that you need to as we push out of the smoke. They played that beautifully, and they had the timing in their favor to get every single one of those kills, take side control and get around for themselves. But this time around, instead, it's gonna be Mok going in for an aggressive peek of his own, getting the first initial takedown on the Fancy, a beautiful headshot as well. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be a 5 versus, make it a 5 versus 3 situation on the map, because Mok, he's hitting wallback shots all day, all night, ladies and gentlemen. It is gonna be Zolo biting the bullet in that scenario, but at the same time, with this coming on through, it's 4 on 4 on the map already, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see, with the spike down onto the side of mid, it's gonna be quite a massive dent towards the side of the attackers.
Well, actually, having in this situation, Exceeli using the spike, which they don't do normally, has put them really into pressure right now, because it's 3 of them against the 5 of them with full arsenal. And if they lose this round, they're gonna be in really good situation right now, really good position. And Mok gets the first strike on the board and Mizzle. Mok dominating on a rampage against Exceeli.
One enemy remaining here.
Mok with the quad kill. Can he get the ace? Can he get the ace? Let's check. Mok get the ace! Mok with the rampage! Mok! Oh my lord! The round comes in favor of GSCHH. Thanks to Mok and an excellent ace with all of it headshots.
Wow, this is a nice
This is the power of Mok, ladies and gentlemen. If you mock the mocker, you are gonna get mocked. That's what Mok is saying. And I know that is a mouthful, but at the same time, I do believe that those are the words that are going on through his mind, because those shots were just insane coming out from the Reyna. And you can see when it comes to his micromanaging and the way he was taking a lot of those gunfights, it was really smart. He was not taking those gunfights right whatsoever. He was playing off of the contacts and the information being given off by all of his teammates. He knew exactly where the enemies were with the sound cues, with the calls coming out from the other members of the side of Headhunters. They played that beautifully, setting up Mok for a perfect ace on his own accord. 5 kills on the board already. And Exceeli, they are going to be shaken heavily because of this, but at the same time, Shoesfreak not opting to go in for a peek just yet. Maybe gonna be able to take down Savage if he plays his cards right, but he's playing it very defensively. After an ace like that coming out from the side of Mok, he does not want to take any of these fights aggressively, and that is very much understandable. But at the same time, they need to try and go in for a rush soon enough, because they're wasting so much time onto the side of mid itself. The recon ball does spot out one member onto the side of mid lane, basically giving some information off towards the side of the defenders that, hey, maybe they're opting to try and go for aggressive mid control, or they could be moving their way down onto the side of A if they play their cards right. And this is done beautifully. Shoesfree, he's in the prime spot to get this kill down on the Savage, but at the same time, he cannot find it. With so much information being given away and a fast rush going on down from the side of Exceeli down onto this A side, the spike is going to be planted down soon, and it could be going down to a 5 versus 5 retake, but instead it's going to be Ace. Oh, what a disgusting shot down on a Solo, taking him out already. It's a 5 versus 4 with the spike going on down for the side of Exceeli. Down from the back end, it's gonna be shoot big with one, Fancy with one, Hatred with another, Hatred with a second. This could be it for the side of GSC Headhunters, but Sasuke may be able to get one kill of his own. Does take off his hat as well, gets a lot of information on his own accord. And Fancy, he knows exactly where Sasuke is gonna be holding. He's making a push down towards the side of mid. He has full armor and full shields, everything to work with, but the swipe timer is not in his favor, and I do believe that Sasuke, he's actually playing it for the exit frags. And yes, in a way, this is good for them, but at the same time, it's 5 and 5 on the scoreboard. And the side of Exceeli, they have ample amounts of money to still keep on fighting. But if he is able to get 2 more kills of his own, this could be all that he needs to try and find it out for his favor. Hatred tries to go in for that swing, but it's not going to be enough. Instead, it's going to be Sasuke with those crispy headshots, being able to take him down systematically 1 by 1. That's going to be 5 and 5 on the scoreboard. And map number 1, it was a showing for the side of Exceeli, but map number 2 is a showing for the side of GSC Headhunters.
Well, this is becoming really something not expecting, because what I expected, maybe in the map like this one, maybe they might make a difference. Maybe they might, it's gonna be one-sided or something. But right now, what I'm seeing is GSCHH understanding how really, how really Exceeli plays, and after they changed, swap roles. Right now, after swapping roles, the players which are not accustomed to play the operator, apart from their specific role operators. So making that on the board, every small mistake, every bit of error being made by GSC, being made by Exceeli is being very badly punished by GSCHH. And what I see is right now, if GSC keeps playing like this, I don't think Exceeli is gonna make a stand against a situation like this, because I know Exceeli still in this situation still being equal to GSCHH, but still GSC after the last match they played, it's really a big change of plans, remastering the situation like that. So what do you think, Aggressive? Are you hopeful that this time GSCHH might make a difference?
I do believe that this composition in particular that they were using right now is a lot more stronger in comparison to the composition that they had in the previous matchup. I do believe that Savage on that stage, he was not as comfortable, and it was really showing when it came down to a lot of his plays as well. But now on this Sova, he's so much more confident, opting to go in for such massive plays of
Standing ahead.
own. He is able to come out on top for his team, drone it out, get information for them, and still work on strong. But Elias, that was a little bit too... I don't know what to say about that one, Elias, but that was a little bit too heroic on your own part. But still, you're able to survive, but your teammate was down. You cannot get the backup to him, but instead it's going to be Aesop on the other side of the map, being able to kill off the lurker. Fancy opting to go in for these lurks a little bit too much, and he does get caught off guard for it. You have to be a little bit more defensive, and then you have to be aggressive when it comes to a lot of your lurking angles. He does bite the bullet, and it's already going to be full on the map, trying to hold on down from deep inside of the side. All the members have beautiful post plans of their own, and Hateful, he's going for a massive flank of his own down onto the back end, but Hateful, 1 by 1, the bodies are going to be piling on up. It's going to be Missile with a double kill. Missile holding it strong, but Hateful, he's in the prime spot to go in for a flank of his own. He's probably going to be able to find 1 kill as well on his part, with all the members now just holding on down from different sidelines. It's going to be Hateful with 1, but Hateful's not going to be able to flick onto the head of Mawk. Instead, it's going to be Mawk with the spray, being able to take him down with that Phantom. Beautiful play from the side of GSC Headhunters, and Aesop, he's at the top of it all. The bodies were just dropping 1 by 1. Systematic headshots and systematic surgical precision from all the members of the side of Headhunters. They played that beautifully, taking us down to a 6 and 5, but I do believe at the same time, when it comes to the defensive side, Exceeli, they're going to be a completely different beast entirely.
Well, saying of precision, as we speak, is their aim of Exceeli, and right now, after what I saw the play of Mawk, I'm really confused. Which of the team has more accuracy?
Get out of my way!
I wish if Valorant could show what really the accuracy means is GSCHH. Aesop gets a frag on the board, Mawk gets 1 frag on the board once again. Aesop! The second frag, shoot for steal 1 frag, of course. 2-1 situation. Where is everyone hiding?
Nowhere to run!
And that's it. Hunter's really coming out on the side from Mizzle, trying to stop them, making a difference, and shocker damage. Nope, he doesn't hit. So we're seeing quick 3 kills on a very good team play coming up on the side of GSCHH. Mount goes down, and we're seeing 4v2 situation. Actually not doable, actually not hopeful, but still, Exceeli is being really slow in their approach. They're not gonna stop. They're not gonna, wait for them to, budge in and get the kills back. Of course, they're just gonna trying to get the frag. Mizzle being extremely quiet on his approach. He's not. It's gonna happen. And the Savage gets the frag of Mizzle, and also Sasuke misses. Shufrix misses the shot, and round goes in favor of CHH, and it's the second half, and we're seeing an attack, GSCHH, and an Exceeli on the side of defense, and GSC on 7 and Exceeli on 5.
That was a really questionable round coming out from the side of Exceeli. I do believe that if they opted to go for a little bit more mid control, it could have worked out in their favor. But still, I understand what they were trying to do with the fast rush down on the side of B, but that execution was just not there. When it comes to a lot of these execution heavy rushes, you need to set up everything with your solo before you opt to go in for those peaks. But no trades were able to come on through, and that really hurt them quite a lot. So many members dropping on down without any form of a trade. It's not going to be working out in your favor, but at the same time, I do believe from the side of Exceeli, they're maybe opting to go in for an aggressive push, but they cannot go alone. This is very much important that they play together as a team. Both Zolo and Hate Crew, they need to be on the same terms, but at the same time, all the members of the side of Headhunters, they're playing it slow and they're playing it systematically, trying to establish as much mid control as they possibly can. They're festering themselves down onto the side of mid, but they need to try and establish a little bit of map control onto the different sides of the map, and they are able to do that because they are playing it slow, they're playing it safe, trying to see what they can find, but no picks are going to be coming out whatsoever. Exceeli, they're playing it really well when it comes to their disciplined play style, but someone needs to make a move. Either it has to be the attackers or it has to be the defenders, and in this point, GSC, they're going to be the first one to make the first initial move. Ooh!
Well, we're seeing Mizzle they at burst off the board. This time there is nice cross on the side of Exceeli. That cross is something we might really expect on a round like this, and it's 4v2v5 situation, and not so doable,
30 seconds left.
So good looking. 30 seconds on the clock. Savage does a pre-fire to this wall right there. Sasuke takes back one more fraction more situation. Not looking good. Exceeli needs to understand what's going on. 15 seconds on the board. Bomb needs to be taken and planted. So
10 seconds left.
GSCHH one side they're gonna push. Hate Crew gets the frag of the board, getting healed up, and that's that. 1 second, and Solo Crazy finishes off with a 1 tap on Savage and finishes off the round. 7 on the side of GSCHH and 6 on the side of Exceeli Esports.
Exceeli, they played that round really well. That aggressive cross coming on down from the side of Zolo and Hate Crew, just so crispy, ladies and gentlemen. But at the same time, Missile, he's just such a treat to watch when he had that classic in his hand. Doesn't matter if he uses the right click, doesn't matter if he uses the left click. His clicks and his taps are just so crispy. Missile with those double taps down to the ace of shut down any sort of possible push that could be coming on down from the side of A short. This basically means that some push has to be present onto the side of A long itself, and Hate Crew throws out the flash, gets the personal pick off down on the Mog, and immediately it was Zolo with the backup being able to take down one more on his own accord, taking us down onto this anti-eco round for their side. And it seems that all of the members from the side of Headhunters, they're playing it slow. They're trying to see if any of the members of the side of Exceeli are going to be aggressive, but already you have your information. None of the members, they're going to be playing aggressive whatsoever. They're going to be playing it slow. They want to go in for the push, but if you're going in for a push against such a defensive team, whenever you have those egos, if you don't have the information, if you don't have the support to set everything up for you, it's not going to be working out at all in your favor. And already all the members from the side of GC, they're making their way down on the side of me to see what they can find. But Savage, he has that shorty, so maybe he's going to be able to get a kill and try and make things even for his side.
45 seconds on the clock, and it's really doable for Exceeli because one-man shortage on the side of GSCH is gonna make some difference, and they're gonna push back the the garden side. Again, they just took back the control, fall back again, destroy the door.
30
Zolo
seconds left.
cheeky common angle, and 30 seconds of they're just going for the rotation. Mizzle gets the first frag of the board, almost 20 seconds of the frag, and we're seeing Mizzle once again holding Triangle, can he get second? Oh my god, that's
Spike
right!
down,
Got
B.
two, and it's one more. Mock gets taken out by Fancy. The round once again. A bit of mockery coming out. And it's leveled up 7-7. 7 on the side of GSCH Hunters, Headhunters, and 7 on the side of Exceeli Esports. And this is getting hotter, guys. Fireworks are coming back, and we might see some Diwali after all.
This goes here.
Very much possible. That's for sure. But that round in particular, it was really smart from the side of Exceeli to understand that, hey, we know for a fact that Headhunter, they like to play it slow. They like to set up crossfires, knowing that we could be the ones pushing out aggressively when it comes to our defensive rounds. But instead, they played it slow. They played it systematically. They did not opt to go in for any sort of an aggressive peak and allowed the side of Headhunters to make the first initial move. And they made that move, then they immediately got punished for it as well. And they played that round beautifully, but at the same time, Missile, he's gonna be playing it once again, playing it slow, playing it steady. He does spot out Aesop onto the side of mid, basically giving some information away towards the side of his teammates that, hey, one person is trying to establish aggressive control down here from the side of mid, so you should be careful. But at the same time, Fancy, his camera, it's on the blind spot of Sasuke, so maybe Sasuke's gonna be able to get a kill for himself, but Sasuke, he does not opt to hold that corner, and he opts to dip out. I do believe that if Sasuke opted to go in for that peak, maybe he could have gotten one kill for himself, but at the same time, he just didn't want to take that risk. He just wanted to play it slow, but still, all of the members are still alive. And once again, it is a very slow, systematic push coming out from the side of Headhunters. They do not want to try and establish aggressive control onto any parts of the map. They are not investing any form of resources, and it's going to be the side of the defenders who are going to be coming out on top. You do not have map control. You are not making any sort of noise on the other side of the map, and the crossfires are just so beautiful from the side of Exceeli.
30 seconds left.
They're able to shut everything down with only 30 seconds left on the clock. It's already a 3 versus 4 situation on the map. Yes, the spike is going to be going on down, but the retake scenario is just way stronger for the side of
Spike planted.
Wait.
It's gonna be really tough because right now what we're seeing right now is really doable. Again, really tough, really unexpected. Again, really not one to two. Anyway, we're seeing Hateful on the push.
One enemy
Second,
remaining.
yes, he does. And last is right there, trying to draw him out. Maybe Elias. So that was a nice try, but I don't think the round was too much on the side of GSCH in the last moment. Because when I saw Exceeli getting his head side, I just hope that this time Exceeli might just come back and show what they're made of. And 7 to 8, 8 for Exceeli and 7 for GSCH. And what we are seeing right now is suspense that. Is the tides gonna change? And are we gonna escalate this match when we get to, waiting here?
Keep up.
This is gonna be a little bit of a question mark for me personally, Shnikov, because consider something. Headhunters, they are on top when it comes to their own engagement, but wait, did he miss the recon bolt?
Yeah, he did miss them, sadly.
We're just not gonna question that. He was AFK. We all didn't see anything. Guys in the chats do not say anything as well. He missed the recon bolt because he was AFK. His mouse slipped out of his hand. It happens to all of us. It happens to professional players as well, so don't worry about it. But going on back to the point I was saying, coming out from the side of Headhunters, I do believe that they are feeling a little bit uncomfortable and they are guessing themselves. The things that they had when it came to their own defensive rounds, they was just so much more confident, but once again, they're defaulting back to their own lurking strategies, sending Aesop on his own down on the side of mid, and he's gonna be biting the bullet already. It should be the Cypher opting to go in for plays like that, and Aesop dying on out so early, being the Jet as well. He is required for a lot of the aggressive pushes to come on down from the back end of these sides, and now the push is gonna be going on through, and it's gonna be Zolo getting the first initial pick off. Zolo looking for some more. The 100 Fury has been popped as well. A little bit questionable when it comes to the 100 Fury from the side of Missile, but still the bodies are gonna be piling on up. Nonetheless, one after the next as well, when it's gonna be Sasuke getting the first initial pick off down on Zolo, taking him out already. The operator has been picked up, and it is going to be the side of Exceeli taking us down to a 7-9. But at the same time, that was an eco round. But that eco round is going to be so crucial for the side of Headhunters, because if they were able to get a little bit more damage, get a couple of more kills, it would have been so worthwhile for them to do the damage towards the side of Exceeli when it comes to the terms of their economy, because now they're rolling in the cash. Look at their money. They're going to be all happy for a couple of more rounds, and Zolo, he's going to be able to buy even 2 more operators, because if his teammates opt to go in for those half shields, he's going to be happy with and getting as many ops as he could possibly.
Seeing that, really give them a really good information out there. Hate crew get some informations too, and they're pretty much sure that this is not gonna be B. So rotations coming off, and it's already they're pushing aggressive towards A. Defenders holding off that corner. We are seeing Jet holding a really cheap
My ultimate is not ready.
and might expect some kind of push right there. Zolo crazy on the first frag, gets flashed but takes that first frag through the operator, falling back, which is really good. And we are seeing one man on the side of GSCHH. Now Shufreaks knows what's going on, and maybe he's gonna save his life, or he's gonna die. Anyways, Aesop takes back the frag, and Bizal taking back on the headshot. Nice one, obliterating Aesop on the air. Zolo crazy with an operator still holding out the angle. It's 2v4 situation, doable and not doable. Fancy 9 spots him, drops
30
back,
seconds left.
Gate, 30 seconds, and he's just basically boxed in.
One
right
enemy
there.
remaining.
And Zolo crazy gets
Spike
rid of the frag.
down mid.
Elias, it's only one guy on the loose, and it's Sasuke and another. Sasuke trying to, scan for sectors for the enemies. Might get a frag or might not. Sasuke gets the sound, and right
10
now,
seconds.
that's so sad.
I have
Zolo
retrieved the spike.
crazy losing the operator on the board. Might make a difference. No, he couldn't. Fancy and finishes off the round on Sasuke. Double digits for Exceeli Esports, and some disrespect coming off on the side of Fancy 9. 10 on the side of Exceeli, 7 on GSCHH, and right now, if HH doesn't show any kind of progress,
Right here.
a game gets taken off by the momentum, it's gonna be a losing fight.
As Krisha would have said, sorry, if he was here, a little bit of casual toxicity never hurts. And in that situation, Fancy, he was just showcasing that all is good fun between friends. But at the same time, I do believe from the side of Exceeli, they are doing a massive hold on to the side of mid, but this read is not going to be working out for them, because all the members are going to be actually making their way down over to this A side itself. And Fancy, he could be in a massive pickle if all the members of the side of Headhunters, they play their cards right, but at the same time, they're not going to take down the deep inside of the side just here. Instead, it's going to be Fancy getting the first initial kill down the Aesop, and Aesop tries to go in for Fancy on the zone, but instead, it's going to be Fancy getting another one for himself, but instead, it's going to be Mork and Savage being able to get a couple of kills, but Mork, he opts to go in for that gun and try to push down to the side of Heaven, but giving up so much noise that already it was Shootstreak in position to get that kill down onto him, and that run was just so quick as well. The defensive positioning coming out from all the members from the side of Exceeli, they're just so clean when it comes to their rotations as well. Having so much experience, they understand how fast to come in for those rotation plays. Everyone that was playing down from the side of mid, understanding that, hey, we can play the B side for a retake, we can play the A side for a retake, because Fancy has such a defensive position. When Fancy is in that position himself, it's gonna take a lot of resources to bring him out of that position, unless he gets unlucky and gets a wall bang to the wall itself. They played that round so well, understanding that the rotations can be coming out here on this side, on that side, but Zolo, what were those double kills? Zolo straight onto the side of mid, being able to find so much value. It's 11 and 7 on the scoreboard. Shnikov and Fancy, he gets another pick off. It's already 5 versus 2 on the map, and with the ultimate getting popped as well, all of the members being removed for the side of Headhunters. Bodies are just piling on up, one after the next. Shootstreak gets another for himself. Sasuke, last member remaining. And honestly, this could be match point.
That's it. Let me see. Casual toxicity
Match
once
point.
again, and I really thought maybe this time, maybe GSCH is gonna make a difference, but they always prove me wrong, and Exceeli always finishes up my, expectations that one day Exceeli is gonna, fall down. breakdown. But right now, what I see is Exceeli being the undefeated champions once again. Also in this match, in best of three, 2 consecutive wins, and right now in this game ball, and the last hope for GSCHH trying to make that coming true as we speak here, getting tagged and waiting. And Sasuke gets a fast track off Zolok. It's really good looking for GSCHH. Though it's a match point, it's gonna be a long way walk. Freedom! Shoot! And one tap! Mock takes back the frag of the board. Fancy. And the frag one! Fancy 9 getting the frag of the board. Mizzle getting maybe one frag. Mizzle can he get a second?
Spike
No,
down,
Mizzle
mid.
just did some damage. 2v2 situation, doable. Fancy really waiting in this angle, trying to get a frag of the board. Maybe he could get a frag. Maybe he could.
remaining.
Yes, it's 2v1 situation. Right now, it's gonna be now or never.
No charges
and
left.
Hate Crew does a pre-fire, almost accurate as we speak.
Last
And
player
can he finish
standing.
off? It's 1v1.
Oh, that's
No timing! And
Defenders win.
Never
Exceeli
come back.
Esports
I will.
undefeated champions once again.
Fancy, he played that so beautifully using the contact being made by Hate Crew. He spotted out the elbow because you do have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, when you are further away from the wall, you can spot out your opponents first. And he immediately made a fast move towards deep into cover and then came back out holding it wide, basically throwing off the crosshair placement that could be coming out from Mog, because Mog, as a high skilled player, he will be holding his crosshair closer to the wall as he is trying to swing that corner. And that really worked out in the favor of Fancy, understanding how high level players hold their crosshairs. He was able to go in for a perfect wide swing and get the headshot himself, readjust his crosshair beautifully for that round in particular. And it is going to be Exceeli once again, ladies and gentlemen, your reigning champion, still holding on strong and still being able to take as many fights as they want. But still, honestly speaking, ladies and gentlemen, GSC, they had a really good showing on this particular map. Going in from the previous match, which was just a 3-13 to now a 7-13, they understood what they need to do. But I do believe they just broke apart when it came to their own attacking round. It felt as though once again they were defaulting back to their previous strategies, holding Aesop on his own, trying to go let him do whatever he wants to do. Not really going to be something that would be working out in their favor. They did not play their cards right. And they should have played much more together as a team, but it all comes with experience. That is why Exceeli is such a driving force in our community, primarily because they are just so good when it comes to the team play and coordination. And hopefully, the side of GSC Headhunters, they do have the mechanical capabilities. They just need to put in the hours to get their teamwork up to that level as well.
Well, seeing that kind of, gameplay almost up to, speed, almost up to that amount of pressure, sometimes maybe some people might make a difference, but at the end of the day, what I'm seeing is a team like that standing up to the situations like that and just being that undefeatable, although they just swapped, roles, trying to, be something different, just gossiping, and you get my point. So we're seeing this kind of changes. Still, they adapt to that situation, always winning. So what I have to say today is Exceeli Sports with that kind of mechanical skill, it's undefeatable because whatever you put on the board, if you're just not up to that mechanical skill, if you're just not up to that experience, reading your opponents, there's no coming back. So I think to reach up to that mark, every team in Bangladesh needs to learn from Exceeli on experience like that. How do you predict? How do you understand how a team plays, how a player plays, how to play the mind game, settle down, trying to bug into your opponent's head, get inside and bash them out. That's what makes the difference. That's what makes a team like Exceeli being one of the best or the best and the undefeated champions in Bangladesh Sports League.
That is for sure. Exceeli, they are a driving force for our community. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be Exceeli being the reigning champions for this time's ESPL. But at the same time, let's just try and close out this set as well, because it's been a long night and you've been sitting with us for a while, for over 2 hours for these two sets, with a little bit of technical difficulties coming on through. Sorry for the long pauses, but we were of course here to keep you company. The games are exciting, the games were fast as well at the same time coming out from both of these teams. A lot of promise being shown as well from the side of Headhunters, so if they keep on trading, they could be the ones to take down the juggernauts known as Exceeli. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be ending off the stream for today, and thank you all for watching ESPL Bangladesh, and we're going to be catching you soon once again, real soon.